Hi, and welcome to the NorthTampaHoops podcast. It's Paul Giannotti, your GM and host. Just let everyone know, our 35 and up Monday league is going to start October 6th. We have 3 team spots open, so if you're going to be free agent team, or if you have a team, let me know. We'll get you in the league here. So we want to review what happened last Sunday in our 21 and over Pickup USA League. It was week 5. So get to the Baja dominates. Jokic's Cousins survive the thriller. Star Fox and Team Global shine in pivotal Sunday. So we have the stream. It's all posted on YouTube. You can always subscribe here. And so this is all going along with my update that I post online too. So I post this weekly, and I'm trying to turn it into a podcast to see if you guys would rather, listen to it than read it and have it on. So here are the standings we had through week 5. War Ready's in first place, 4-0 record. Team Global also, I guess they're tied, right? 4-0. Third, we have Get to the Baja 3-1. Fourth, Florida Cash 3-1. So look, we got 4 teams that are tied up here, 4-0, 4-0, 3-1, 3-1. So we have some top heaviness in the league right now. Hopefully we should see some separation as we get to the last 3 weeks of the league. Max coming in at 2-2, Jokic's Cousins 2-2, Star Fox 1-2. They did start the season with 2 byes, and this is where it's going to get interesting. All right, so Northdale Heat is 8, the Dragons are 9th, and the Warriors are 10th. So the last place team's not going to make the playoffs. It's really a fight for 8 or 9. So we can have, that's our playing game, and the winner of that is going to play our first, our number 1 seed. So a lot's going to happen. Week 6, we're going to see Northdale Heat, or we're going to see the Dragons and the Warriors play. So someone's going to get a win. And the week after that, Northdale Heat is going to play one of those 2 teams too. So pivotal games here at the bottom of our bracket to make the playoffs. Because look, everyone wants to make the playoffs. So here's our first game of the week on Sunday. Star Fox rallies after halftime to ground the Heat. Star Fox wins 41-29. Over Northdale Heat. Northdale Heat opened the game with energy and execution, racing to 21-15 halftime lead. Amir and Akeem were aggressively early, attacking the paint and finding lanes against the Star Fox defense that looked out of sync. Their ball pressure created turnovers, and the Heat seemed in full control with a balanced effort that had them smelling a much-needed second victory. But after the break, everything changed. Star Fox ratcheted up their defense intensity, closed passing lanes, and forced the Heat in the rushing perimeter shots. Offensively, they began finding the rhythm through Charles, who had 10 points, who had a critical jumper to ignite the comeback. Tony, 9 points, and Elijah, 9 points, followed a flurry of baskets that shifted momentum sharply in Star Fox's favor. The turning point came midway through the second half when Charles buried a contested shot at the top of the key. That possession broke the Heat's confidence and sparked a 10-2 run that gave Star Fox the lead for good. The defense anchored by Eric, 7 points, forced multiple turnovers that were quickly converted into transition points. For the Heat, their second half collapse was painful. After scoring 21 points in the first half, they managed to only score 8 in the second. Their half-court offense stagnated, and the lack of outside shooting doomed their comeback attempt. With the win, Star Fox climbs 1-2, showing they have enough depth and grip to stay in the playoff conversation. The Heat at 1-4 continue to struggle to find a consistency across both halves. Star Fox, had a slow start to the season, 0-2. They get a victory here. They did start off with 2 byes. So I think for them, they are gelling as a team, as they're now 3 games into the season, and they have their first victory. All the players' individual stats are listed for each game on the update if you check it out. Jokic's Cousins survived Warriors in a nail-biting finish. Jokic's Cousins win 46-44. Sunday's closest contest featured everything you wanted in a rivalry game. Lead changes, tight defense, and a final possession that left everyone on their feet. Warriors entered still seeking their first win of the season, but they played like a team desperate to break through. Behind Steve and Bruce, the Warriors kept the pressure on all game. The first half was back and forth affair, with Jokic's Cousins clinging to a slim 24-23 halftime lead. Both teams exchanged buckets, and it was clear early that this game would not be decided until the final whistle. So Jan set the tone for Jokic's Cousins early with mid-range jumpers, while Alex asserted himself in the paint. As the second half unfolded, Jokic's Cousins relied on balance. Derek and RJ provided timely buckets, and Alexa emerged late as a steady hand that needed to keep the lead intact. Under a minute to go, Alexa connected on a crucial jumper that gave the Cousins just enough cushion. The Warriors still had a chance in the final seconds, down by 2. They got their ball into the paint by a contested shot rimmed out. The rebound fell into Cousins' hands, and the buzzers sealed their fate. Jokic's Cousins now sit at 2-2, a much improved squad that looks dangerous with their scoring and spread evenly. For the Warriors, the effort was commendable, but 0-2 in the standings tells the story of a heartbreak after heartbreak. The Warriors are going to break through. I really think they will. Give them some time. Everyone's good on the team. You just need to all have a good game together. Thanks to our sponsor, Pickup USA Fitness. From pickup games with refs to members-only tournaments to basketball training to full fitness rooms, Pickup USA is your one-stop shop for all things basketball. Hey, if anyone's interested in signing up, please let me know. I will put you in contact with the gym to get a membership. Our next game, we have Get to the Baja. Gerard erupts as Baja puts on offensive clinics against the Dragons. Get to the Baja 82, the Dragons 49. The most lopsided game of Week 5 belonged to Get to the Baja, who unleashed their most explosive performance of the season. Scoring 42 first-half points, they overwhelmed the Dragons with relentless pace and scoring depth. Gerald was the star of the day, pouring in 29 points, making him unstoppable inside and out. Baja attacks was a showcase of teamwork. While Gerard commanded attention, Fabian stretched the defense, Hollywood added instant offense, and role players like Amar and Ottman chipped in. By halftime, Baja already led 42-24 and showed no signs of letting up. The Dragons fought valiantly behind Errol's 25-point explosion as he carried his squad with tough buckets, fearless drives. Al added 10 points, but no one else consistently scored, and defensive breakdowns provided costly. Every time they made a push, Baja answered with another run. What set Baja apart was their ability to score in transition. Forcing turnovers at midcourt, they repeatedly found easy buckets while the Dragons struggled to set the defense. Their depth looked championship caliber, a dangerous sign for the rest of the league. The Dragons, the loss dropped to 0-4, and their season now teetered on desperation. Baja's win, however, improved them to 3-1 and established them as perhaps the most dangerous challenger to the unbeaten leaders. I agree. The Baja did have that first game of the season. They lost, but they won because the other team had a forfeit. Since then, they've had a really good run here. I know they have one loss on the record, but they are coming along. It's going to be interesting as we get here to the playoffs. The Dragons are our free agent team for the season. Free agent teams always do struggle as they build their chemistry, but as we've seen with the Stingrays in our Monday Night League, it can happen, and we've seen it. It just takes time and patience. All right, so our next game is Team Global versus Florida Cash. Team Global stays perfect with statement win over Florida Cash. Team Global 74 to Florida Cash 61. The marquee matchup of the day was a clash of heavyweights. Unbeaten Team Global against the rolling Florida Cash squad. Both teams traded blows early, while Global holded a narrow 37-32 halftime lead. The game stayed within single digits for most of the second half, but Global's depth ultimately carried the day. Chris and Daniel were the offensive engines for Global, delivering buckets in critical stretches. Helier gave them a strong secondary punch, while PJ and Jordan and Kentrell each contributed timely plays. Their balance provided too much to handle. Florida Cash relied heavily on Chase, who had another big outing. He attacked the rim, hit jumpers, and kept his team within striking distance. DJ provided strong support. Beyond that, the scoring game came in short bursts. Shazan and Trevor chipped in, but Global always had an answer. The difference was execution late. Global calmly ran their sets, found the open man, and punished defensive lapses. In contrast, Florida Cash rushed possessions and leaned too heavily on Chase when fatigue set in. The result, Global improved 4-0, keeping pace with War Ready in the top of the standings. Florida Cash suffered their first loss, but remains one of the league's most dangerous threats headed into Week 6. So we have our players of the week for Week 5. Gerald from Get to the Baja at 29 points, unstoppable scoring, run the league's biggest blowout of the season. Chase from 4 to cash, 24 points, carried his team against undefeated Team Global, and competitive throughout. Errol, the Dragons, 25 points, a relentless score, kept his team afloat despite a heavy defeat. Our key contributors are Chris on Team Global, 16 points, clutch shots. Clutch shot making the seal of statement wins over 4 to cash. Fabian Get to the Baja, 16 points, perfect compliment to Gerald's in Baja's 82-point show to Gerald and Baja's 82-point showcase. And Alex from Joe Kicks Cousins, 12 points, steady inside presence on a narrow 2-point win over the Warriors. So these are our top 10 scorers for the week and their points. Gerald 29, Harold 25, Chase 24, Fabian 16, Chris 16, Daniel 16, Steve 14, Hollywood 2, Alex 12, Alexa 11. I got a list 13 on the website. Okay, power rankings. So here are our power rankings after week 5. We have War Ready in first, still unbeaten, 4-0. They didn't even need to play to hold the top spot. Team Global remained perfect at 4-0, showing balance and depth in a statement win over to cash. Get to the Baja up 1 spot. Their 82-point explosion and Gerald's dominance cement them as a top challenger. Forward the cash down 1 spot. Took their first loss, but Chase provided he can hang with the league's best. Joe Kicks Cousins up 1 at 5. Clutch win over Warriors showed growth and balance, climbing back to 500. The Max idle in week 5. Joe Kicks Cousins win pushes them down a slot. Star Fox big rally in 7th. So up 1, big rally against Northville Heat gives them momentum headed into week 6. Northville Heat in 8th, down 1 spot, held a halftime lead but faded badly. The offensive struggle continued. Warriors in 9th, still searching for the first win. Another heartbreak against Joe Cousins. The Dragons, Arrow is carrying with team's defense and depth keep them stuck at the bottom. Don't worry, Dragons, I'm rooting for you. You'll get there. Okay, so that's our week 5 wrap up. I'll go over here for our preview for what we're looking at for next week in week 6. So we have a 9-week regular season, and now we're going to be at week 6. So we're really going to see our playoff seeding shape up here as we get back to the last couple weeks of the season. Here, let me look at our schedule, and we're going to see here what matchups do we have for the rest of the season that are really going to make changes. Because at this point now, we have the teams that are in the top, or they're really fighting for that 1 or 2 seeding spot, and the teams at the bottom are fighting to make the play-in game and to make the playoffs. Because really the goal for me for a successful regular season is to avoid the play-in game. If you can avoid the play-in game, then you have a good shot. Because look, no one wants if you win the play-in game, you're going to have to face the first seed. First seed I've seen on Mondays have been upset 2 seasons in a row, so it's possible. The team just really has to come together at the right time. Sometimes that 1 seed, maybe someone can't make the game, star player can't make it, things happen. But it is just, in my experience, a lot more comfortable to go into the quarterfinals when you're a higher seed, or you're going to play that 4th, 5th seed. I just had a lot more confidence against the teams that I passed who I've been scheduled against. Okay, so what do we have here? Week 6, the Dragons versus the Warriors. Okay, that's going to be the big battle. That's going to be at 9:30 for the cash. Wait, hold on. So our Dragons versus the Warriors. We see the Dragons as the favorite, 2.5 points. Over unders 88.5. Player props: Errol 20.5, Steve 15.5 for the over under. We predict the Dragons are going to win 45-41. 4 to cash versus War Ready, 10:35. We have the spread as War Ready. It's the favorite by 5.5 points. Over under is 12.5. Player props: Chase 21.5 points over, and Max with over under of 18.5. We predict War Ready will win 61-54. Star Fox versus Get the Baja at 11:35. Spread is 7.5 points for the Baja. Over under 107.5. Player props, Gerard 23.5, Charles 12.5. Prediction, get to the Baja will win 66-52. You know what? I would not be surprised if Star Fox does have an upset. We haven't had a big upset, so we are ripe. We're at the end of the season for upsets here. Max and Team Global. Max hitting 2-2. Nope. Our spread is 4.5 points. Over under is 104.5. Player props, Chris 16.5, Ray 17.5. Prediction, Team Global is going to win 59-53. Here, this is for the rest of the season. What we're looking at as your big games that are really going to determine. All right, so week 7, if we're looking ahead. Well, first let me say, Jokic Cousins had a slow start, but they are picking up steam. They could be a team that's going to make some waves here as the season rolls down. Max versus For the Cash is week 7. War Ready in Team Global is in week 7. Northdale Heat versus the Warriors. So that's going to be a big one, right? Northdale Heat wins that. They are locked in. They lock in their playoff spot. Pretty much lock in the 7th seed. If they lose, the Warriors are. It's going to make it difficult for me because we're going to have to come down to the tiebreakers if everyone has one win. But my goal in this league is for no team to go undefeated and no team to lose all their games. So, one win's happened, and that's good. It means I'm doing my job and there's parity in the league. It's not fun if we have undefeated teams and teams that go winless. So what do we have in week 8? For the Cash and Jokic Cousins. That could be interesting to see if Jokic Cousins is going to get into the top 4 for the playoffs. We're looking at week 9. Now, nothing too interesting right now, but a week 9 is going to have our play-in game. And the Dragons and the Warriors are playing in games already. So, good chance someone's going to have to play 2 games that day. So just heads up to any teams that are going to be finishing the 8th or 9th that they would have to play that same day on Sunday. And let's see here. We'll wrap it up with 2 of our last predictions here. Not predictions, but more mid-season check-ins. So our season MVP through week 5, this is the person's name in their money line. Gerald plus 180, Chris Team Global plus 250, Chase For the Cash plus 300, Errol the Dragon 700, Fabian gets the Baja plus 900, Rays on the Max plus 1200, Alex Jokic Cousins plus 1500, Mir and Northdale Heat 2000, and Charles and Star Fox plus 2200. There's our way too early playoff bracket, so we really don't know who's going to be in 10th just yet. So our play-in game as of right now is Northdale Heat versus the Dragons and the Warriors. Winner of that game will face War Ready. Number 2 versus number 7, Team Global versus Star Fox. Number 3, get to the Baja versus number 6, Jokic Cousins. That can be interesting because you could really see Jokic Cousins win 2 games there. 1, 2, and they would be in the final. But they're up in the same bracket as Team Global, who hasn't lost yet. So more to come. 4 versus 5 is For the Cash versus the Max. Winner would play already, or our big upset play-in game winner, which has happened. We've had the Purge on Mondays, win the play-in game. How about poor regular season, win the play-in game, make it to the finals. So it's possible. All right, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. Please subscribe. If you want to see this on the website and see all the stats and numbers, it's all right there. And the link to the stream is there. And look, if you're on YouTube, the stream is right there in my content. So thanks for hanging out. And we'll see you at the gym on Sunday or Monday.